Hey guys, today is going to be like an impressions video of all the things that I bought the other day. So I'm going to take my Rose Salve Balm and just put that on my lips for moisturization. I'm going to take my Painterly Paint Pot and I'm going to apply that to the lid. So as this was my first time applying this, I didn't really know that it was better to apply it with a finger. I did find out that patting it was better. So you see me painting it with like a little paintbrush. But yeah, it goes on a lot better if you do it with your fingers. It's smoother with your fingers, and it also is less patchy with your fingers. Plus the product is put on more with the fingers because the brush kind of soaks up a lot of it. It's more pinky toned than I thought it would be. I probably need to get soft ochre for the yellow toned, but for now it works. It covers up all my veins on my eyes, which I have a lot of. I'm going to take my Stay Matte powder by Rimmel and just set all of that powder down, or all of that Painterly Paint Pot down, just so we have a matte base for the eyeshadow look that we're going to do in a minute. I'm going to take my it's a Morphe brush. I can't remember which one it is. I'm going to take those few shades on the Morphe 350 palette, and I'm just going to put that in my crease. It's a very warm, light color. It's almost skin tone for people who are more tan than me, but since I'm really pale, it's pretty tan for me. It could be a good bronzer shade if I used it. Now I'm going to take that darker, more red tone shade, and I'm going to put that right underneath that same color that we did for our transition, and I'm just going to deepen the crease a little bit more. I'm using circular motions and windshield wipers to disperse the product evenly. I'm definitely taking it into the inner corners a lot more than I normally do, just because I want to try and get an even layer. Now I'm going to take that really orange color and that same red color to kind of help warm it up, and put that mostly on the outer corners and blending it into the inner corners to create like an outer edge. Now I'm just going to take the same colors and pat them on the eyelid just for a base for what we're going to do next. Now I'm taking this gold shade and some MAC Fix Plus on my BH Cosmetics concealer brush, and I'm just going to lay down a layer of that, kind of mapping out where I'm going to put the glitter next. And since the glitter is gold, I'm just going to be using a gold shade. It's going to kind of be like a half cut crease type thing, but I didn't really cut my crease. I don't know. Now we're going to take the Midnight Cowboy Urban Decay Cosmetics Heavy Metal Glitter, and I'm just going to put that right over top of that gold shade that we did before with the MAC Fix Plus, and I'm just going to do a few layers on both eyes, more layers on the inner corner than on the outer corner, because I want to kind of like fray it out towards the edges so it's not as heavy and it's not just one glob of glitter. I want it to kind of blend into the eyeshadow. Excuse my voice, I didn't really get a good night's sleep, and it always does this whenever I don't get enough sleep and I'm starting to get sick, so sorry. Now I'm going to take my Tarte Timeless Pore Concealer, or not concealer, it's a primer. This primer is absolutely amazing. It is so smoothing. It smells so good. I've used it for a few weeks now, and it is really good. It smooths over everything. I can't see my pores. I can't see any of my bumps. The wrinkles on my forehead look a little less wrinkly than they normally do, and it conceals my little nose pores. It conceals my cheek pores, which are the biggest. Now I'm going to take my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the color Sand, which is a perfect match to my skin tone. It is a very yellow foundation, which I really do like. And I'm going to go ahead and just apply that all over the face. I just dot it everywhere, and then I'm going to use my Nude Beauty Blender to blend it all out. As you can see, it's not full coverage. It's probably more medium coverage, so you have to add another layer if you want that full coverage. But today I was just trying to figure out how this foundation works and if it was really a good match for my skin tone, which it is. I was color IQ'd at Sephora, and this foundation was in my top 4 foundations that I had that were my match. And so I finally bought it at the Belk's counter because that's the only place that had the Estee Lauder foundation at my mall. And so it's a perfect match. Like I don't really have to blend much down my neck. I mean, I do to make sure that I don't have a line of demarcation, but really it's a perfect match, and it's the exact undertone that I need. As you can see, I'm just adding another layer on some places just to help conceal like acne scars or pop-up things that I have from earlier times, or dirty skin from just sometimes my pores get clogged and I just can't help it. Now I'm going to take my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly, and I'm just going to lay out this concealer. For some reason, I mean, I found out quickly in this video, and I also found out in other times that I did my makeup, this concealer method does not work with this foundation on me. For some reason, when I lay it down with a brush or I let it sit too long, it just takes away the foundation. So when I'm blending out the concealer, it just picks up all the product, and it's not good. It ends up being really patchy, and as you'll see in a minute, I'll add another layer of concealer just to try and clean up those patches. But I have learned a new method, which you'll see in a couple more days when I have my new video come out. But yes, so this way of, I mean, it works for some people, I can tell because I've seen other YouTubers do it, but this way does not work for me. For some reason, the foundation just doesn't like it, and it picks right back up, and my Beauty Blender just soaks it right up, especially on the forehead and the upper lip. I don't know why, and also on the nose. It doesn't do it all over on the eyes, just on like the high cheekbones where my highlight's gonna go. See, as you can see, I'm just gonna conceal some more things and then attempt to cover up those spots. Now I'm just blending out my under eye creases before I powder. I'm going to take my Coty Airspun powder, and it's actually in the honey beige, I believe. It's not the translucent because it actually adds a nice layer of concealer, I guess you could say. It kind of covers up any mistakes that I've made on, especially this foundation with it being so patchy with the concealers. It kind of helps with that. I'm just going to bake, not really bake, but I'm going to set down the concealer, I'm going to set down the powder where I want it and just blend it out with my Beauty Blender. It's not baking because baking makes my eyes too dry. And then I'll lay it down on my nose, and then I'm going to also set my foundation and everywhere else on my face with the same powder with a giant Real Techniques powder brush. This brush is so big and so fluffy. I absolutely love this brush for powder. It just applies it so nicely. It doesn't really soak up any of the product. It's a good brush. It's a really good brush. Now I'm going to take my Hoola bronzer by Benefit, and I'm going to take a BH Cosmetics contour brush, and I'm just going to pretty much contour the cheeks with it and bronze at the same time because it is more cool toned. It is a good bronzer and contour. So I'm just going to lightly do it at first, and then because I can't really go and pull off a full like contour. It doesn't look nice on me. So I'm going to do my cheeks, and then I'm going to do my forehead, and then I'm going to lightly do my jawline as well. As you see, I go back in with the cheeks to make sure that they are nice and blended and contoured. Now I'm going to go along my jawline because I have a square face. It looks better this way if I just If I leave it alone and I don't do it, it just doesn't, it makes my face blend in with my neck a little too much. Now I'm going to take that brush that goes with the bronzer and I'm going to do my nose lightly. I don't normally like contour my nose extremely too much because it doesn't look nice. Now I'm going to take a NYX blush and I'm just going to blush up my cheeks. I believe it's just called Pink, and it's a nice blush. It's very pigmented, so I don't use a bunch. I don't wear a lot of blush anyways, and I'm going to kind of go over my nose a little bit just to kind of bring in like the sunscape. Now I'm going to go in with my Laura Geller highlight in Gilded Honey. This highlighter is one of my favorites. It is so blinding. It also it blends with the skin so nicely to make it look more natural, even if I apply too much. I'm going to apply it right on my cheeks. I'm going to apply it above my eyebrows and along my temples to kind of create a C shape. And I go in circular. First I lay it out with windshield wiper motions, and then I do circular to blend it in. Now I'm going to add a little bit more with some MAC Fix Plus to make it a bit more blinding, because my highlight always has to be blinding and everybody always has to see it. But as you can see, the Fix Plus actually just makes it so much better. And the Fix Plus I had just bought, so this is the first time I've ever used Fix Plus, and I absolutely love it. Oh my gosh, I use it to set my makeup, I use it to prime. It's amazing. I don't know why I never bought it before. But I'm going to put a little bit on my chin, my upper lip, and then I'm just going to use a better brush for my upper lip. And then I'm just going to blend that out, and I'm going to use my finger for my nose and then blend that out too. Now I'm going to take my primer water from Smashbox, and I'm going to set my face and then do it with Fix Plus as well because I like looking dewy. Now I'm going to do my eyebrows with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in medium brown. And I don't really have a special way of doing it. I just kind of fill them in and clean up some sparse areas that I might have and just create straight lines instead of having a jagged, rough edge. And then I feather the top because I don't want a giant block brow because that's not cute on me. I'm going to be like Amanda Ensing and say that my brows are not twins, they are sisters, because they don't look all the time alike. I'm going to take a NYX, I believe it's in the color Mauve. It is a lip liner that is very buttery and creamy, and it matches with my lip tones pretty well. It's not super pink and it's not super brown. It's kind of a mixture in between. And I'm just going to line my lips with it. And then I'm going to take Kat Von D Bow & Arrow, my absolute favorite liquid lipstick, and just apply that right in the same exact lines. I don't overline my lips or anything like that. I just fix them. They're not even on both sides, so I just make them equal to try and even out. And I don't normally just plump my lips, I just kind of line them. Now I'm going to take my Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced and do my eyelashes. I'm going to just coat my eyelashes on the top first. This mascara is so amazing. Oh my gosh, I've had this for so long now and I'm running low. I can tell I need to buy another one, but it is so good. It's just the perfect mascara for anyone. The wand is a bit big, so sometimes I get it on my lids, but it's still amazing. Now I'm going to smoke out my lower lash line using all the colors that we used on the top lash line. Sorry about the mirror. I'm still getting used to having no big giant circular mirror that I can spin around. I need to get one again. My other one is broken. And then I'm just going to coat my lower lashes with mascara. And I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to use Laura Geller Gilded Honey on my inner corner and my brow bone. And just line that inner corner as well. I'm going to take some of that glitter on the inner corner as well, but I'm not going to put it like exactly in the inner corner. I'm going to put it on the lower lash line part of the inner corner.